Yo, what's up? Happy Sunday. Hope you guys are all doing well. Right now I'm just in the park. I've actually never been to this park before and it's still in the CBD. I've been in Melbourne for 2 years now. So it's taken me 2 years to check out this park and it's pretty sick. It's massive. It kind of reminds me of what's that big park in New York? Although I've never been there, it just gives me those vibes because it's like a massive green park. It's got like mini lakes. It's got some nice paths and trees and flowers you can all walk through. And you've got the city like landscape and backdrop in the background, and it looks really sick. And I don't have my camera on me, so I thought I'll just set up my phone. It's on a really strange angle right now. I wish I could get a better angle going, but it is what it is. So I thought I'd just use my phone. I've never used my phone to record a long YouTube video before, so hopefully the audio is all okay. I assume it's using my AirPods to pick up my voice when I speak, so hopefully when the wind comes through you guys don't hear any of that noise. And walking around today, it just made me realize once again that time goes by pretty quickly. It doesn't feel like I've been in Australia for almost 2.5 years now. Yeah, it doesn't feel like that at all. It's been a very fast 2.5 years. Why it's been fast, I'm not too sure. Maybe it's because it was kind of like a new environment at first, so everything felt new. I didn't really feel too bored at all. Whereas I think back in New Zealand, since I was there my whole life before, you kind of become used to everything and everything becomes normal. It becomes standard, it becomes kind of slow and boring. Whereas moving over to this different country, this new city, it's like there's always something to do, always something that occupies your mind, always something to go out and see and explore. And now that I've been in Melbourne for 2.5 years now, it's made me realize that time goes pretty quickly. And now moving forward, as I briefly covered in another video, is that I want to relocate. So I'm thinking of Brisbane right now. My lease ends here in April. And from there, I plan on moving to Brisbane, Queensland. How many months I'll stay there, I'm not too sure. Right now, I'm thinking around like the 6-month mark. And then after that, maybe I could relocate to Gold Coast, for example, especially closer to summertime. I think it would be a cool idea to really get the most of the Gold Coast, the beaches, their whole atmosphere around summer. So that's what's been on my mind lately. Right now, I'm just in the process of slowly getting rid of belongings that I don't need. For example, clothes, selling items like my old camera, getting rid of old shoes, just to really, is downsize the word, get rid of anything that I don't really need. So when it comes to moving out, I can fit all my necessary items just into like a suitcase or two. I don't want to be weighed down by all my belongings, so I just want to keep the essential shoes, clothes. I've got my laptop, so I have to get rid of my computer, maybe even get rid of my DJ equipment as well that I barely even use. But those are just some thoughts on my mind at the moment, preparing to lead up to the move. And also by hopefully offloading some of that stuff I don't use, then I'll bring in just a bit more money that is there for the move, just to help compensate maybe for like a bond or the flights up to Brisbane, for example. Right now, I haven't found a job up there. I haven't bought any plane tickets. I haven't looked for any accommodation yet. But pretty much from today, it's exactly 3 months. So I really got to get the ball rolling on that. And I only really came to this decision a few weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, because I've met a lot of people recently, mainly in my apartment sauna. A lot of them are tourists, or they're here on working holiday visas, and a lot of them are from Japan. And Japan is, ever since I was a kid, it's the #1 country that I've wanted to go to and spend time and explore and just really soak in the whole environment, culture, and all of that. And hearing their stories of traveling throughout Australia, but then also the world as well, it's really woken me up to just live a bit more, which I was trying to do. But I think looking back over the past year and a half, 2 years of me being in Melbourne, I know I've been in Melbourne longer than that, but over the past year and a half, I think I was getting a bit too slow or comfortable. And so this whole shift in city, I'll get a different job, I'll live with different people, I'll be in a completely different environment. I've never been to Brisbane before. I really think they'll just wake me up and really motivate me to push further in the direction that I do want to head. So it's been a really eye-opening experience speaking to all these different people from different parts of the world. Because once I get my Australian citizenship, in just over a year and a half I'll apply, and it shouldn't take too long for it to get accepted, I probably won't come back to Australia anytime soon to travel. So I was thinking, for the year and a half that I will continue to live in Australia, I might as well make the most of it and go see different parts of Australia before I go abroad. So then that's why right now on my mind first is Brisbane. Get to a warmer climate, different climate. Then after that, Gold Coast around summer, as I mentioned. And then maybe after those two are off the list, we could consider something like Perth, for example. I've heard good things about Perth. I've met a few people from there recently, and it sounds like a pretty interesting place to be. But I also have a couple Instagram connections over there as well, which will be cool to link up with if we ever make that happen. But yeah, it just crossed my mind, and hearing about all these travelers on their working holiday visas, they come over, they work in different parts of Australia. It made me realize I can basically do the same thing. Even though I'm not on a working holiday visa, I can travel and live in different Australian cities for like short periods of time, get a job for a few months, 6 months, whatever, and then just hop along to the next city. I think that'll be pretty fun, and it'll give me a bit of a wake-up call one way or another. And it all kind of ties into one of my previous videos that I did recently, where I was talking about like death is inevitable and to kind of live now. And that's really kind of like the headspace I've been in lately, just making the most of life, because you never really know when it might just all come to an end. So trying to stay responsible, smart, think through all my decisions, but at the same time, like, just enjoy and appreciate it all, rather than waiting for like retirement, for example, which I think is a trap a lot of previous generations got caught up in, where they wouldn't really live their life until they retire, like 65. But then most of the time you're just too tired, or you don't have the health you once did by the time you reach that age to really go out and truly experience what the world has to offer to travel. So I like to consider myself pretty onto it at times, most of the time at least. So I really believe I have the ability to really just pick up and go to a different city, and I'll make it work. And when I think about it, that's kind of what I did when I came to Melbourne as well, and that worked out fine. So I know I have the ability to go wherever, and having that trust and confidence in myself, knowing that I will be able to pull it off. Brisbane, I basically know no one, but that's not really an issue. I came to Melbourne and I knew no one as well. And just over time, you come across and meet different people, whether it's in like the workplace, or it's, where you're living, or where you live, flatmates maybe. For example, like the sauna at the apartment I live, the complex there, I've met a lot of people there. Actually, most of the Australian friends I have now, I probably met at the apartment sauna complex, which is really cool, and something I didn't really expect when I moved in. Because when I moved into this building I'm in now, I didn't even know there was a sauna. So it was a pretty nice surprise when I realized that we had one, especially for like all the health benefits and everything like that. Right now, I probably go to the sauna 4 or 5 times a week. And that's been pretty consistent over the time I've lived here as well. And I reckon I'm not too sure what my skin looks like, but I feel better. My body feels just a bit cleaner. My skin feels a bit cleaner. and then that added social aspect on top of it as well. I think it's really cool. But yeah, time flies. Be intentional with your time. Don't get too comfortable or complacent. But then also, don't rush things. Be intentional. Don't muck around. But make sure also there's like a certain point you don't want to cross. Don't rush everything in your life. Sometimes you do just have to let things come naturally. But also, sometimes you've just got to take action and get stuff done yourself. So trust yourself, listen to your thoughts, listen to your heart. Do what you trust or do what you feel is the right decision. Follow your intuition, the natural voice inside that speaks to you. And most of the time, stuff's just going to work out. Stuff's going to fall in line. I don't have everything planned out, but I know that I have the ability and just the trust in myself that even maybe without a plan, I'll make things work because I've done it in the past. So learn how to build up trust in yourself. Keep your word to yourself. So when you go out and you move to a different country or you move to a different city, and maybe at first you're a bit hesitant or you're not too sure you can do it, just do it. Because you are much more capable than you may believe. Through putting yourself through these trials and error, these new environments, you really begin to expand your mind, and things that in the past might have completely terrified you. For example, while we're on the topic, moving to a different country where you might not know anyone, maybe in the past it would have completely terrified you. But once you do it once, and maybe after a few months, maybe even after a few years, everything kind of falls in line and you feel good about that whole journey. Maybe it wasn't smooth sailing the whole way. Maybe you got homesick here and there. But knowing that you were absolutely terrified, you went through with it, and then you pulled it off, it's a really good feeling. And you should find ways of building up that trust and confidence in yourself one way or another. Even basic things like going to the gym. I remember before I started going to the gym, I was like freaked out. I didn't want to walk through the door. I thought everyone was going to start judging me. I thought everyone was going to be looking at me for whatever reason. But the first day in the gym, one of the first thoughts I had was, I wish I didn't do it sooner. Right now, I'm not massive or anything, but when I started, I was 69 kg, and now I'm 84. And I'm the same body fat percentage I was back then. So that's basically 15 kg of muscle in 3 years. And once again, that's just built up my self-belief and confidence in myself, and trusting, knowing that if I stay consistent and dedicated to something, I've got a mission or goal in my mind, and I stay committed to it, then I can pull it off. And that's why I know me just randomly deciding to move to a different state, a different city, it doesn't even trigger that feeling of initial fear or doubt that maybe it would have in the past, because I know I've pulled it off. So I'm really looking forward to the future. Once again, just another ramble from Eben on your Sunday, and I hope you can take something away from that to apply into your own life. But I hope you guys are all well. I'm actually about to go on another walk and record another video for you guys, basically right now, but I'm going to get a drink of water first because I've just been babbling on. But I'll see you guys soon. Please take care of yourselves. Peace.